All right, let's go back to the first one. Was it a good speech?
Yes.
Kiran, it was a good speech. Congratulations, my friend. Humor, better than last time. Room to grow. Okay, now one of the requirements for this speech was to draw on your personal experiences. Now last time Kiran gave a speech, he didn't do this. Okay? This time, it was all about his personal experiences. So a big thumbs up there, Kiran. Good job, my friend. We really need to work on your telling of jokes. I think you are probably a fantastic engineer, my friend. It comes across very clearly. He certainly seems as though he's comfortable up here giving a speech, doesn't it?
Yes.
He's got no problems giving speeches. The problem is humor is an incredibly powerful tool that's not currently available to you when you're giving a speech. I suspect as a person, as a friend, as a colleague, I bet you're a pretty funny guy. Right? I bet you tell funny things, you tell funny stories, you laugh, you have a good time. But man, when you get up here, humor's gone. Because you're Kiran, you've got a message, and you're going to tell it to us. And you better not be laughing during my speech, because if you're laughing, you're not learning. If you're not learning, I'm wasting my time. And if I'm wasting my time, I'm sitting down. So Kiran, you know your speech. You did a good job of it. There was actually 4 times during your speech when people actually laughed. When you talked about turning the knob for happiness, that produced a mental image that everybody thought was actually pretty funny, okay? You talked about us being a jar of chemicals. Once again, another mental image, and everybody laughed at that. You talked about crazy love, which we've all seen, experienced, what have you. We know that's very funny. And then the concept of you hugging the doctor. That was actually sort of a funny one, right? So all 4 of these have a common element. They all produced mental images. And ultimately, that's what humor is. Humor is a mental image that you take to the extreme, right? And I don't think you're comfortable yet doing that. If I was going to give your speech, and if I was going to try and make people laugh, here's an example of how I might go about doing that. So first off, I'd start off by saying, so I went into a 24-hour fitness last Thursday. I went over to where the Stairmasters were, but they were all occupied. But it didn't matter, because I had something else in mind. And I stood right next to the Stairmasters, and I started to laugh. Ha 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 ha. Because that was my exercise. It was a laughing exercise. All right, that's funny or not funny, it doesn't really much matter. But you have a mental image of that happening, right? Next, I would have talked about your twins. You have 2 twins you shared with us. Completely different from each other. One of Kiran's twins is applying to join another family. He wants out of the family. The other one will physically attach himself to one of his parents and will not let go. It requires a visit by the paramedics with the jaws of life to actually get the child to release a family member. See what I'm doing? Taking it exactly as you said it, taking it to the extreme. You talked about crazy love. I like the jar of chemicals. If I'm a jar of chemicals, I don't want to think of them as being separate chemicals. So I'm going to jump up and down. I'm mixing those chemicals up. And finally, you hugging the doctor. You should have told us you hugged the doctor. I reached out, I pulled him close to me and gave him the biggest bear hug, at which point in time he said, "Eek! What are you doing?" Excellent. So Kiran, great speech. I want more humor. Take it to its logical extreme. That's where the joke lies. Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Mic up.
And I don't want